Hi, welcome to Two Jews Making Food. I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Amy, and we are getting fresh at the Farmstand.
Oh my gosh, we have
Well, we got
such
fresh at the
We did.
Farmstand.
If you joined us on our Instagram page for a little behind-the-scenes footage of our journey to the farm stand.
You saw me sniffing the bud of this tomato.
Oh my God, yes, maybe you should explain that to people here.
When you smell the bud of a tomato, if you don't smell tomato,
Do we have to call it that?
it's yes,
Okay.
the bud. Especially when it's this kind. Look at little butt cheeks. This is a good one. I got this from Pike's Farmstand in Sagaponack. It's so yeah, this butt smells like you smell tomato, so that means it's a good tomato.
And it smells like, pardon?
Tomatoes, if you know, so Billy, our super fan, asks, do you have to smell it all the time? Was that your question?
Yeah, tomato.
Well, you should.
But it smells
If
like
you see me in the
tomato.
supermarket, I'm doing this.
But a lot of the stuff in a traditional grocery store does not smell
You're not gonna
like
get
tomato.
the smell. And if you get like a nice heirloom or like aroma or something that's super fresh, it'll be good. But if you smell a tomato and it smells like a tomato, that's the one you want to get.
Buy it.
All right. So
Should we?
so we went to we visited some farm stands
Out east,
both
yes.
where you live, where I live, and we compiled a whole bunch of delicious things. So
It is
to just
green
kind of
in here.
make, I'm winging it today. You planned ahead.
I
'cause
planned.
I always wing it. You
I
plan
planned,
ahead.
I made,
So
I
yours
tried
is more
it.
elaborate. So you
Yes.
should start.
So borscht. We're doing borscht today
Because she saw some
because
beets.
we saw these beautiful beets at the farm stand. And now my favorite part of beets is not only the beet, but the beet greens. Some people throw them away. Please don't. You can actually cook them. They're a lot like spinach. If you are making the beets for later, that night you can just cook this up in some olive oil, salt, pepper, garlic. They're fabulous. It tastes a lot like spinach, but just with it's a quality of spinach, but it tastes like a beet green, and the beet greens are wonderful. And I'm actually gonna put that into the soup, which is super fun. So this soup is sort of a labor of love. It requires a lot of prep, but then once it gets going, you just kind of layer, and then it takes care of itself. So to get going,
You're always doing something that requires a lot of prep.
I know.
And I don't even have kids and I don't have time for
I said that to my mom last night. My mom is in visiting, and I was like, I really need to choose simpler recipes with less to do. But I like what to do.
I'm squeezing some lemons for my cocktail. Just FYI.
Which is a fabulous way to start
Right?
the day.
I'm just gonna keep myself busy while you're doing that.
Yeah, so a little bit of olive oil into the pan, a little bit of salt just to get going. What we found is that because there's so many vegetables in this, it's pretty important to salt most of the way through. Otherwise, it got like a little watery, and then you're kind of adjusting the taste. And to save us time, obviously, the beets look like this. For this recipe, you shred the beets. I did not bring my food processor. I shredded them at home. I'm sorry you're missing out on that element. But this is
But you
shredded
get it from me.
carrots. Yes, shredded carrots and beets. Ooh. Oh, go right in the pan. It just kind of starts to take on a brown color, and that's how this all begins. So that goes in, and a red onion. I used red. You can use white or whatever you like.
I
Yellow.
love red onions.
I do too, and I just think it's so pretty with the
Billy
beets
does.
itself. Billy also does. Mom, do you?
I'm not an onion person.
You really aren't an onion person?
My grandson is.
Yes.
Are your kids onion people?
Oh my gosh. So my kids are also here today, Owen and Griffin. And Griffin's favorite thing is to go into the garden and eat chives.
Griffin also just ate some dill, like straight up dill. Like raw
He likes to try
leafy
things.
dill. I'm not a dill person, so I was like,
Alright, so this is gonna do a little bit of browning. And now what are you doing over there?
I'm squeezing lemons
Yeah, girl.
for my cocktail. Billy, that's the dill.
Do you peel the beets, or you just
Did you
rub
peel
them?
Yes,
the beets,
oh, I'm
yes.
sorry. So, yes, you can clean them. You don't have to actually get crazy with peeling them, meaning you just scrub them really well. You cut off the top, cut off the bottom. I'm actually gonna use the top, like I said, top. And it's beautiful on the inside. If you have cleaned this really well, you can just grate it. You don't have to necessarily peel everything. You just wanna make sure it's really clean so you're not eating dirt. 'Cause dirt in your meal would be disgusting.
Horrible.
You really want to wash the green.
Oh, the beet greens, yes,
Yeah,
also,
yeah.
I will, when I get to that point, but, if you're gonna, for the grating part, I just used my, like my KitchenAid, but you can use a
A grater.
hand grater.
Like one of these.
Do we have one?
Right here.
Oh, but that's,
You could use that. I use that. People are like, you're crazy. Why would you do that? But
well, we also discovered that there's a lot of variety of borscht. Now, the borscht that I'm making is a fairly hearty borscht. It has a lot of elements in it. Some of them, honestly, it's just boiled beets and like a stock of some sort. Some people use beef. I use chicken just because I like the taste of chicken stock, but if you wanted to make it vegetarian, a veggie stock is great too. Oh, I was getting
I'm almost ready to make the cocktail. Ooh, Billy's excited. I don't usually drink gin, but this is a gin cocktail. It's called the Bee's Knees.
sorry.
And it's very kind of farm standy because it's got honey in it and lemon. It's very summery.
You told me you were making this, I was very excited.
I'm excited about
So
it.
now, part of the reason how we ended up at the farm stand,
I don't even remember.
you remember how we ended up at the farm stand?
Oh, because we were going to a party?
We were going to a party.
Oh, yeah.
And we were going for the, I don't know if you guys have seen, but the Edible East End actually did the most lovely
Story
about us.
It's the
with a photo
current
and
issue of
everything.
Edible East End, and we're right in the front.
I mean, I think we should have been on the front,
it
but
out,
that's just me. Look how cute we are.
Look at us.
It's very nice.
Here we're in this kitchen.
It's been
Yeah,
there.
this is us. Thank you, Edible East End, for
Yes.
featuring us. So we went to their
So cool.
little June magazine launch gathering at Sagaponic Farm Distillery.
Which was lovely. If you haven't been, take a ride. It's worth stopping
And
by.
on the way there, we stopped at Pike's Farmstand to check out get some inspiration. So
And that's where I found the beets. And the beets usually, because I looked up like what season are beets. So beets are kind of cool season. So either the spring or the fall. I don't feel like we've warmed up to our summer heat quite yet. So they're still out and available.
beets. I love beets.
Amy, I'm excited for your cocktail.
I am excited. Oops, sorry.
Now, what kind of honey are
I
you
must have
using?
spilled all my lemon juice.
Like,
So
remember
typical
when
of me.
Remember when you spilled the meat?
The cream.
The cream?
Yeah, we had one episode that was just a complete mess.
We had to stop in the middle.
We did.
Because
It was so bad.
Super
I
duper
spilled
dry.
everything. All right, so I actually need to pull this up because I can't remember what the specs are.
It's like a bike rope, like a.
Oh, that's how I see. You're grading your beets that way. Yes, that makes sense. Okay,
This would take all day. That's
all
why
right, the
I have
bee's
to-
knees. So I had to make a honey simple syrup.
Oh, beautiful.
It's actually a honey thyme syrup. So you do honey, water, and thyme, and then you just kind of let it cook down. But it still pretty much just tastes like honey to me. So that's that. And gin, and I'm gonna come over here.
Enough of that.
I'll move this so you can see. So I've got gin, I've got my honey simple syrup, I've got fresh lemon juice, and that's it. Oh, and thyme. So you take
Nothing but
the
time.
shaker, nothing but thyme, put some ice in it. This is a single serving, so I'm doubling it because of Rebecca.
Oh my god.
And then I'll make another for the audience. So
Making mine extra
we are
strong.
doing, it would be 2 ounces of gin, so I'm doing 4 ounces of gin. I'm doubling it, Billy. This is, whoops. Oh, God. What did he say?
I'm not gonna be able to stand up anymore.
Well, you're not having all 4 ounces, Billy. Sheesh. All right, so gin, then
Yum.
3/4 ounce of fresh lemon juice, so that would be 1.5, right?
Just put it anywhere, Amy.
That's close enough. And then, where's how much of the syrup?
Best guess.
What the heck?
It's a best guess
Oh,
recipe.
3/4 ounce of honey. It doesn't say on the thing. So, oops, I should take the cap off. So then, for one serving, 3/4 ounce of this honey thyme simple syrup. And since there's 2 of us, I'm doing.
So now I am adding to my pan while you're doing that garlic. However many cloves you like. I don't like to go crazy garlic heavy myself. I like light flavor, so I have 2 cloves in there.
I'm gonna shake it up. Tom Cruise style cocktail.
You basically throw it in until it really starts to smell and that it's cooked and it's not like raw.
Shake
It's a
it
little
up.
toasty.
I always do that. I gotta get some new jokes.
Shake
All
it up.
Yeah, I always sing the
Yes, but
same
people
song.
come to depend on the jokes that you tell
Right?
me.
It's
We look forward to it.
Ah,
Ooh, that looks delicious.
it should be good. We'll see.
It should be good. Actually, I'm not a tremendous gin drinker,
Nor am I.
but I have to say that I look forward to becoming a fan. Amy, Amy, Amy.
So then you take a little twist of a lemon peel.
You fancy.
The lemon peel. Boom. And a sprig of thyme.
You're so far.
Gorgeous. Oh, I need to take a picture.
Oh, I don't have my phone with me.
You have your phone? I do. Do it next to our flowers.
That's the
We
worst
always
part,
have to
'cause now I
take
to
pictures
wait.
for our Instagram while we're doing the show. It's not ideal, but
That's kind of
this is why we're different.
Right.
So I take a picture and then we'll drink it.
Ooh, this is so good.
Cute. Okay, you ready?
I'm always
Which
ready.
one's yours? This is.
Nothing says
This
summer.
is Rebecca. Our names are on these.
Or they?
Yes.
Oh,
All right.
cheers.
I mean, I don't know if I got the next part. L'chaim.
L'chaim.
Right.
It's delicious. Sometimes gin is like a little too juniper forward for me. But this is really, this is nice. No, because I feel like I'm drinking a tree, which I don't
Yes.
love that myself. But this is nice. It kind of takes the edge off with the lemon.
It does. I like it.
Oh, all right, I'll drink it, Amy.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 with booze.
9 with booze.
All right.
2 non-booze. All right, so to the pan, I am putting in about a tablespoon of tomato paste and a half a cup of tomato sauce.
I'm just gonna wing it this time.
Now, in doing our research, we found that there's a lot of varieties. And some people use ketchup, which I wondered why, but I think during war times, perhaps canned tomatoes were hard to come by. And because this, you do need something, the tomatoes add a bit of sweetness to kind of temper the beet, which is obviously very beet forward. So it adds a little bit of sugar, kind of making it sweetens it out. But a lot of the recipes call for ketchup, and I was like, I mean, I want to be authentic and all, but I was gonna go with just tomatoes. Now, I don't love stewed tomatoes myself. I just don't like I just don't like the texture. So, but when it is tomato season, fresh tomatoes in as opposed to a tomato sauce is delicious too. And if you like that, by all means,
I'm
help
gonna
me
make
with
sure
that.
it's not too boozy for you.
Not too boozy. Amy, please.
Well, I didn't measure this time for them. I was just like, well, I'll just wing it.
Sounds like a time that you made the chicken.
Oh yeah, sometimes I just do that.
One time she was making a Julia Child's recipe, and she was following it. She had never made it to the day.
Because that's how I like. I don't like to make things. I like to just try. For me, it's comedy gold when you try something for the first time on the show and it goes wrong.
No, and she turns to me and she goes, "It cooks for 6 minutes." And I'm like, Amy,
Julia says it cooks for 6 minutes.
I was like, I'm pretty sure that this very large piece of chicken is not going to be cooked in 6 minutes. And I kept like waiting by the oven, and then we ended up trying like the part that was
The
cooked.
corner, yeah. But you know what?
It was delicious in the end.
Absolutely delicious.
But I don't know about 6 minutes worth of.
No, that was like 1960s cooking.
That was hilarious. Okay, and now to this, I'm adding about 3/4 of a pound of potatoes. I use gold. I like gold. If you have something else that you like, but again, Long Island's known for its potatoes. You can go wild. If you have a fun one, by all means, use it.
A fun potato?
A fun potato, yeah. I'm sure there's fun potatoes out there that I use like a boring gold potato. I'm sure there's like a fun one. They're like, oh no, you
I
gotta
like a
use
purple
this
potato.
green potato. That's the best, you know. But I just don't know
I
that.
think that's raw. Or
Isn't it
not,
bad?
Not right.
Isn't
Not right.
Isn't green when it's gone bad? They tell you not to eat those.
You're all even getting a garnish in yours too, like mini garnish.
All right. So that's really the base for the soup.
Where's the chicken?
What?
Where's the chicken?
That's
The chicken?
That's not today.
Oh,
That's when we did the Julia Child episode. Where's the chicken?
It's like, where's the raw chicken?
It's like Clara Peller. Where's the beef?
So
Are
now
you
I
impressed
am
that I knew that in the name?
I am adding in about 8 cups of chicken broth.
And do you serve this hot or cold?
So we went round and round about this because it's the summer. We figured we would serve it like room temperature. The idea of like cold just seemed like a little like I was serving you leftovers. But Amy's like, no,
How dare you?
people love cold soup. And so I
Oh,
did
that's summer.
try it this morning, room temperature, and I liked it that way myself. But I think you could serve it cold, absolutely. Some of them do. I think maybe if it was more like boiled beets, where it's a little thinner with not so much stuff in it, that a cold soup would be delicious. Especially with sour cream, which I
Janet,
have
would you
too.
like to distribute the boozy ones, and I'll make a couple for Owen and Griffin.
And a bay leaf went in. And add a
Oh,
little
shoot,
more
I think I
salt.
used all my lemon juice.
I have lemon here, you need it?
I did too, I just used, I realized I just poured it all out. Oh, she's choking on the cocktail. She's choking on the cocktail.
It's good.
It is delicious.
Something's in the air. Yeah, garlic scapes, that's what.
Garlic scapes are in the air.
Garlic scapes are in the air.
Where did I find them? Aha. So now you just cover this and honestly let it come up to a simmer for 35, 40 minutes.
And it's done.
We have a couple of other little things to add to it, but yeah, it's, this is it. And, it's not, once you get the cutting and chopping underway,
Okay, hubbub.
it actually,
They're so excited about the drink, they're like hubbub, 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 hubbub.
I love this drink, oh my god,
Hubbub,
it's-
hubbub,
thank
hubbub.
God the stove filled with food.
Cheers. L'chaim.
This is good.
Oh, L'chaim.
Yeah, l'chaim, Billy.
Thank
Janet,
you
you
so
gotta
much
get
for
yours.
joining us. You have yours, Mom?
We'll get you yours in a minute, guys.
We're back.
It's funny,
I
my
like
mom's
it.
always like, I'm not a big drinker, and then I make her these things. She's like, this is the best thing I've ever had. Wait, aren't you, don't you have to make your?
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. All right.
Well, should we share, should we do Yiddish lesson while
Yeah,
we're?
while I'm making this virgin
I'm just
drink for your
sitting here now like
sons,
this.
let's make a let's do the Yiddish lesson.
Yiddish
So
lesson.
so for a change, the Yiddish lesson, simmer down, ladies. It's like the library now.
Oh my God, you're a librarian.
I am a librarian, not smart enough for that. We're gonna do the Yiddish lesson of the day, which for a change is actually done by the two of us, instead of our parents. Hey! Hello! Here we are live from Sagaponack Farm Distillery in Sagaponack.
And it's a beautiful distillery in the middle of farmland.
Farmland.
This is a gem on the East End.
Rebecca's drunk
I am, oh yeah, well you know me. Woo! But we are here at
for the Edible East End June
End.
issue launch party
if you
because
open the cover.
the cover, we're like right inside. It us. It me, it you.
Yes,
We
thank
cute.
you. Thank you so much
Yeah.
to Megan.
Megan and
You did an awesome
Lindsay
interview
and
with
Steven.
Lindsay. Oh,
Thank you
guys
for
so much.
featuring us. We're so flattered.
It was so fun. To
They
have
made
the
us look
end
so
of the show.
good. But hey, we're actually here to do a Yiddish lesson together. It's so rare that we do it this way, but
And it's very fitting.
it is very
Yiddish word
fitting.
for today
Today's
is
kibitz. We're kibitzing, meaning kibitz is like to
Chat.
chat,
Around.
like make jokes, mess around, kibitz. So we're like kibitzing with the group. So yeah, so we've been hanging out here, having a drink, and kibitzing with the people here at the party.
Yeah.
See those people? We're gonna go kibitz with
We're
them.
gonna go kibitz.
We're gonna make some jokes.
Kibitzer
and we're
with
gonna
them.
kibitz on a kibbutz. Oh, I always make the dumbest jokes. What's wrong with me? Sometimes I watch our show and I'm like, what are you saying?
And why?
Oh my
More
god.
important, why?
Why?
No,
Why?
it's fun. You're fun.
It's because I love the kibitz.
Because we're kibitzing here.
I need a drink.
Well, you obviously do. But thank
All right.
you so much. Again,
Thanks. Yeah,
check
thank
it
you.
out.
10 seconds
Thank you,
out.
Edible East End and Sagaponack Farm Distillery. And
Cheers.
cheers,
Cheers to us
l'chaim.
back in the studio.
Let's go kibitz.
Oh my
And
God.
you're back.
Hey, we're back.
That was nice.
Thank you. All right, so we're running out of time, so I'm gonna quickly try to make this thing. So I have these garlic scapes that I got from Green Thumb Farmstand in Watermill.
They're so cool.
They're Yikes! That's okay.
Oh, now it's a show.
Now it's a show.
Now it feels like a show.
If there's not chaos, it's not a show.
I love how many things you spill in this kitchen.
Just a nightmare in the kitchen.
It's fine,
sometimes.
we'll get it.
It's so embarrassing,
No,
but
it's
not.
fine.
So anyway, I got these garlic scapes at Green Thumb. Thank you. And you know, that's what grow like when you
Yep, super helpful.
grow garlic.
That
This is what comes out of the top, and
So this is like the green part of.
it's even more than it's like, I've never done this before, by the way, so it doesn't come out. I was inspired by Chef Jason Weiner of Almond, who at the Edible East End party made all these like delicious crostini, like, and one of them was with garlic scape, like a garlic scape pesto on crostini, and it was so delicious.
It was so amazing.
So I'm like, I'm gonna do a little homage to Jason, and I did ask him for a little bit of information on what he did, but I don't want to copy him per se, but
He wouldn't have been surprised.
because he has a restaurant, he has to be mindful of people's allergies. for his pesto, he didn't use pine nuts. He used toasted pepitas or pumpkin seeds. So I'm gonna do that.
Which is so smart.
Very smart. Well, that's why he's a chef.
And cheaper.
And cheaper. Oh my gosh, so much cheaper. You're so right. Pine nuts are very expensive, but also you could do walnuts. Yes, walnuts.
But he
you could
very
do.
sweetly said he was trying not to kill anyone, which I thought was nice.
Yeah, which was good of him.
It's like, look at you, trying not to kill
What a-
people.
What a gem. So but what he said is, Marilee Foster, who is one of the owners of Sagaponic Farm Distillery and also has Marilee's Farmstand in Sagaponic, which is actually where I got this arugula. He said that she gave him, she gave him a bounty of stuff, including a lot of garlic scapes, and she also gave him some kale. So he made his with kale
Are you
and
giving
garlic
away his
scapes.
secrets now? Do you think he'll be mad at us? I hope not.
Maybe. But so I saw the arugula and I was like, ooh, I'm gonna use I might use a little bit of arugula to kind of fill it out.
Mm.
So that's what I'm gonna do.
A little peppery. So I
Yes.
am prepping over here the beet greens. I just gave them a nice wash. They're real sandy, so you do want to make sure that you kind of get in there and scrub the leaves off. But I'm cutting out.
Something's buzzing over
It's just simmering. It's fine. I'm cutting out like the real, like meaty part of this leaf, the stem, just because I don't like people to like. I know it's gonna cook a long time. I just don't want people to bite into it and be like, "That's gross."
I've also got a little bit of garlic olive oil here
Mm.
that I'm gonna put in. So it's gonna be super garlicky.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, it's just dripping on the side.
I'm gonna
I turned it off.
zip this up and see how it goes, and then I'll add.
Simmer.
If you don't have one of these mini food processors, like these are the best. Can you give me a spoon, please?
Yeah, of course. Simmer.
I'm not putting cheese in this.
Ooh, that looks
I
so
might-
good. It smells good.
I'm gonna sprinkle some, I think, on top at the end.
Okay,
Okay.
so while you're doing that, to
Yeah.
the soup. I know some people are very nervous about dill. Apparently my children love dill. They were eating it raw.
They are
by
unusual.
itself. I took the like the stem part and I cut it really, really tiny, like tiny little like nothings. And you're gonna add that in to this mixture to let that get the dill flavoring, but let those break down a little so that way they're not like harsh. Put that
Why
in.
so harsh, Ty?
Don't want to be harsh. Don't want harsh soup.
I put a little salt and pepper in here.
Yeah, you do. And then the beet greens, I just give these a quick chop. And they're gonna go in as well. I'm also putting in some red cabbage.
And I added my pepitas, aka pumpkin seeds toasted to this. Put a little more garlic in. I mean olive oil.
Yes, do.
Did you hand me a spoon? Can't remember.
I did, you used it. Right there.
Oh, haha.
You did? Okay. All right, I'm gonna drink on this break.
Ooh, it's looking good.
It's so hot, even over there. Amy, that looks amazing.
It does look pretty good.
My kids are gonna love this. They're not gonna be sad they came
Did
today
I taste it?
for their first day of summer vacation.
Ooh,
All right, I'm adding
garlicky.
beet greens.
Ooh,
Beet
Spicy.
greens, go! I'm adding the, like I said, cabbage.
ooh. That is garlicky.
Woo, well.
Garlicky and peppery. What's that? Huh?
Yeah, I went easy with the garlic on mine. You just got crazy with yours.
Well, I put a lot of garlic scapes in.
I love it. They're so pretty. That's such bright, nice green.
Listen, if it's overpowering, whatever, it's free.
That's cute.
If you don't like it, you know
Don't
what?
complain,
It's
you're
free.
getting it for free. Oh, no, no. Oh, there we go.
Who knew this show was such a bargain? All right. So that's it. I'm throwing this away because I don't need
I'm gonna
it.
leave it at that.
Yeah, do.
'Cause we're
I
running
think
out
it's
of time.
perfect. It doesn't need to be like smooth. I think that's
Oh,
lovely.
it's chunky.
Oh, it's delicious. It's so
It'll
pretty.
be good.
Can you get it overhead? Is that possible? I'll do that. Look how pretty that green is. I love
It's
that.
super green.
Oh my gosh, so beautiful.
All right.
Thank you for
Almost out
going
of the
along with me
way.
on that journey.
So then I thought this tomato was so amazing
Please.
that I might put a little tomato on there
Gosh,
too.
no one will be sad.
I know, right? This is already washed, people, don't worry.
And now we have, just so you know, dill fronds. This is what they call this little leafy part. And I'm gonna go ahead and just give those a quick chop. This goes in closer towards the end when it's really done cooking. Don't worry, I have one that's cooked all the way through. And a
Again,
little
I'm just playing it by ear. I'm just like cutting these in a little cube.
And the only thing that's left is once this is done, it has to cook for like 30, everything has to get soft. You know, the potatoes you wanna make sure cooked all the way through. You wanna make sure all of the, like the tastes are able to blend. And once that's done, it takes about 30, 40 minutes, you turn it off, you put in the dill fronds, you squeeze a lemon over the top, and it's done. That's it.
You don't have to blend it.
You don't, I mean, unless you want to. I don't mind, I
Did
like
you show
it.
what your completed one looks like?
Yeah. Yeah, I can, Amy. Thank you for asking.
You're welcome. You're so welcome.
It looks like this. And magically, I have a done one. And it is honestly like so thick and chunky, but I think it's delicious and it makes me happy. So can I put it in the little bowls for them?
Yes. Here you go.
Thank you. Oh, do we have
Okay.
That's like going crazy.
So I'm just gonna show you what I'm doing with these. So I just cut up a little chunk of tomato because I thought, why not? I'm
Yes,
putting-
librarian
Now it's
Amy, I'm sorry.
I'm putting a little tomato on top because I don't know why not. I made this up. I was inspired by Jason, then I kind of did my own thing, and
That's kind of a lot.
and then I'll do a little bit of Maldon salt on top because who doesn't love Maldon salt?
What are you putting them on? Are they crackers?
I made crostini just with a toasted baguette, and I put a little olive oil on the baguette. I toasted it under the broiler, and then
This thing
just
is
a little
so
drizzle
hot.
of olive
If they
oil on
want
top,
Sour cream,
and that's it.
I do have it on the side.
Maldon salt is like very refined. It's like it's flaky. It's super salty. But what would you say is special about Maldon?
11.
Oh, what would you
What?
say is special about Maldon salt?
It's strong. Like when you put it on something, it's not a wilting flour. Like it
It's
will
the
stand
flakiness
up
that's really
to the
lovely.
food. Yeah, it's and you can't like use it in place of regular salt because it will be oversalted at that point.
Sometimes I do though.
It's a finishing salt. Amy likes to be extra. I mean,
I'm so extra.
and Amy, I
Um,
support you. That's why I love
Here,
you.
you want to try this before we go?
I do.
All right.
Do you want to try this before we go?
Yeah.
I was making
Gonna
it for the
burn my
people,
mouth?
but I can make it for you.
All right,
No,
we
it's
gotta
not.
try it
It's not
before we-
hot. It's room temperature.
All right, well, let's try it.
All right.
That's
God, like
steaming away.
sweating in this.
All right, well,
thing.
here's
It's
our-
like a facial. Maybe
What do
I
you
don't even have. I'm
just
looking
use
for.
these.
Oh yeah, you want?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Here,
Not
go in
fancy.
there and just get sour cream.
Okay. Ooh, yes. Oh, here. Sorry, Jason. We didn't get to tell you about Jason Momoa.
Oh, I thought it was in the refrigerator.
Do you want a little sour cream on yours?
Yes, I do.
Like that?
Yeah.
Wait.
Oh.
I know you don't love dill. I'm gonna just do it like that. 'cause it's
Thank
pretty.
you. Ooh.
Oh, I almost just knocked it on the
Well, I'm
ground.
gonna taste it.
You could also probably get a spoon.
Mm. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
Juice making food.
See ya. Join us next time for more schmaltz and schnick.